voices which resulted in the international treaty on Minamata, and Pakistan, one of our SDPI colleague, who was late Khaja Saab, was also the part of those discussions and conversations when this Minamata Convention was being held, like in the process of becoming a treaty. So there are different symptoms of this disease, but what is the situation in Pakistan is like in Pakistan, the Pakistan is a party I have already heard. So it prohibits the manufacture, import, export of cosmetics with the mercury concentration of over 1 ppm. 1 ppm means 1 part per million of the compound. And the mercury is the third most hazardous chemical impacting the human health and environment. And mercury is important content of the SWCs. In our study, which was done in 2016, there are creams imported as well as local creams where the mercury content was above 31,000 or 40,000 as well. So this was the issue. So that's why we started working on that. Skin whitening creams are particularly those products in some produced in some Asian countries and have been found to contain high level of mercury. This is a repetition. Okay, so Pakistan.
उनसे कहे ना मैडम मीटिंग में है, बाद में आए 12 बजे के बाद.
Okay, beauty is in Pakistan. Why we are particularly, and it has many aspects of these beauty creams, but because our Asian countries in all over the Asia as well as in Africa, the colorism is basically a big thing, and we all want to look fairer so that there's our social status, or we copy the whiter people. So that's why their use in these areas is much more than other areas. So this was my study, which was done by Khaja Saab, and this has shown many of these products had higher content. This red line is the standard, and most of these creams are more than that. So what our there was a report in Minamata initial assessment report in 2019, which was done by the government of Pakistan, and they found that the cosmetic industry contributed to 55% of mercury released in the environment. Okay, so if this 55% of mercury is released in the environment from the cosmetics, then who is using that? How big the effect can be on that that person? So far, Pakistan Ministry of Climate Change is the custodian of the Minamata Convention, and in 2016 there were restrictions on the mercury, where a mercury compound was implemented, and then legislation on mercury was mercury content was built in 2017 on advertisements, and then in Pakistan standards and quality control authority is the responsible for making the standards, which were made in 2017. And now the Ministry of Climate Change is also there is a national hazardous waste management policy, which is look after the National Chemical Control Act, and where the import of these products are monitored. So there are many legislation, and on the health side, there were intersectoral interventions for universal health coverage, where mercury and lead are both included in that to control that, because they have hazardous effects on the human beings. So what is skin whitening creams and industrial products needs to be regulated. What we have is that PSQCA standards for the skin creams, Then Drug Regulatory Authority of Pakistan also had some regulations. Pakistan National Accreditation Council is also there, so they also look after these regulations. Punjab Quality Control Board is also there, so that they can they also have some regulations which they implement. EPA for the Environmental Protection Incorporation Import Policy Order 2016 and Pakistan Environmental Protection Act 1997. And Pakistan EPA's National Environmental Quality Standards, self-monitoring and reporting by the industry is also rules 2001 is also there, and the pollution charges for the industry is also there. So these are the regulatory background which is there. So according to the PSQCA, these skin-wide standards which were made in 2017, the PSQCA, you can see that the arsenic and the mercury are in black, and they are just showing that their quantity still there is mercury in the creams or in the cosmetics, so that has to be less than 1 ppm. And so these are the standards which so now again there was a amendment in the act, drugs act 1976 was where in 2020, which changed the drugs to the cosmetics. So they have included the cosmetics in their act. So they are further working on that to implement that, and there are some amendments now further on. काम नहीं कर रहा, आगे करें स्लाइड से. ओके, अब अगली वाली स्लाइड पे ले आए जरा. हाँ बस ठीक. अच्छा, Pakistan General Cosmetics Bill Act 2023 is now in place. So that is the separate act which is which we will ask from our representative from PSQCA about that, because this was made in 2023 and it is in the process of implementation. So this is I think this is an overview of this. So for this, today's meeting is about how the dermatologists and the regulatory authorities can join hands to reduce the mercury content or to implement these regulations from the supply side as well as from the demand side. So for this discussion, I would request Dr. Zegam, who is Director EPA, and he is supervising labs and national environmental quality standards in Pakistan, and he is basically a chemical and he's PhD in chemical chemical chemistry, and so he is a focal point for Minamata Convention as well, and we would like to ask him to open the floor for the discussion, please.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to appreciate STPI for organizing this important discussions regarding Minamata Convention on mercury. As you explained that Pakistan has already phased out main uses of mercury in industrial processes, and 4 industries previously was using mercury in chloralkali industries. So I would like to please that all the 4 industries have been phased out, and now they are using electric methods instead of mercury cells. And secondly, mercury was being used in the compact fluorescent lamps. And the 2 industries, one was Philips and the second was Haber lamps. And both these industries also phased out mercury, and now they are, even Philips have stopped their manufacturing, and Haber lamps stopped the manufacturing of CFL, and now they are producing light emitting diodes, LEDs. And Pakistan is involved in the initial stage of in the mercury, and we developed the first inventory of mercury in 2007 with the support of United Nations Environment Program. And in other means, we are the pioneer in these areas. And after that, we have developed a sectoral guidelines for 3 sectors. One was health sector, other was waste, and third was lighting sectors. And then in the initial stage of negotiation of Minamata Convention, before going to ratification, we have assessed that how much mercury is being used in different sectors as well as in industries. And as you mentioned, in 2019, we have detailed assessment of Minamata. At that time, 39,000 kgs in all over the sectors we are using mercury, but in 2 main sectors we have phased out. Now we have the targets, how can we phased out mercury in different products. And currently we have health sectors being used in the thermometer, BP apparatus, and the dental amalgam filling, that is also being used mercury. And the third is mercury added products like skin whitening cream, batteries, and other. But we are facing these issues, especially in skin whitening creams and its impact. And as you mentioned that we have conducted giant study with STPI and published 59 samples we collected of different local and international skin whitening creams. And out of 59, only 3 samples were under the permissible limit, that was 1 ppm. So that is very alarming. And this issue was highlighted our ex-Minister of State in different media campaigns and social media, that we are crazy about our fairness. And after that campaign, then one brand, Fair and Lovely, changed their name with Glow and Lovely. So we are pursuing from Ministry of Climate Change, Pakistan Environmental Protection Agency. So now our issue, when we discussed in the last COP in the Minamata Convention, and Dr. Razia was also there representing from STPI, that that different countries have complained that Pakistan is going to export skin whitening cream, which is highly hazardous, and they have a lot of mercury contents in their products. So one famous NGO, Zero Mercury Waste Group, is working with STPI, and they have also supporting that how can we make a proper regulation that we cannot use mercury in the skin whitening cream as per permissible limits, that is 1 ppm. And second, how can we control the export of these mercury skin whitening creams? And that is very embarrassing at the international forum when they are quoting that these skin whitening creams is coming from Pakistan. So at this forum, all the stakeholders are there, and I will also request to the dermatologists that they will also to aware the people, and particularly women, that they should avoid those skin whitening cream which is highly toxic and they have a lot of mercury contents in the creams. So through their campaigns and through their sports, Pakistan would be able to control this mercury in the skin whitening creams in future. That will be beneficial for environment as well as for the human health. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zagam, for giving this overview. And so we have Mr. Tawfiq Ali Abbasi with us, the Director General, PSQCA. And thank you very much for joining us, sir. So we would like to hear from you about this, whatever we have already shared with you. So what is your take on this reduction of the skin whitening creams in the reduction of mercury in the skin whitening, though the standards are there, but what is the situation in Pakistan, and what is the situation of implementation, and how the industry is responding to this? Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Please go ahead, please.
Uh,
Khaja
uh,
Sahab, Khaja
yeah,
Sahab.
I'm Khwaja Ghulam Mohiuddin. I'm talking on behalf of my Director General PSQCA due to his prior engagement in
Welcome.
other areas. So it's me, Khwaja Ghulam Mohiuddin. I'm the Deputy Director in PSQCA. I'm responsible for the development of Pakistan standards related to chemical and chemical products. Recently, we have developed some cosmetic related products uh, in Pakistan with the help of the stakeholders. PSQC's responsibility is to development of Pakistan standards only, and the main responsibility. And other thing is, if government of Pakistan allow to regulate it through SRO, then PSQCA being a certification body inspect the product and take the samples and test the samples and accordingly issue license and certificates. Regarding mercury issues, we have already set the limits of 1 ppm uh, for mercury in cosmetic products. So I think from the standard point of view, it is okay, it is a permissible level. And regarding export issues and import issues, I think we have to engage stakeholders, not only the stakeholders, but also we have to engage uh, uh, quality infrastructure peoples, for example, testing laboratories, certification bodies, as well as those who are expecting these products privately. We have to engage themselves because, in my point of view, we have a lack of a quality infrastructure in Pakistan. Number of, I think, we have lack of testing laboratories who can test the parameters of mercury in Pakistan. The accredited lab, I'm talking about the accredited lab. So these are the main issues which I have to highlight here. For example, in Pakistan, a lot of more than 140 laboratories are accredited. But if you go to find out the accredited lab for the mercury test, there are few laboratories. So we have to think about it there. Similarly, those who are manufacturers are exporting the cosmetics products. They are not aware about the Pakistan standards and how to regulate these activities in Pakistan. They are not aware. So we have to make awareness among themselves. These are my point of view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Glamaruddin sir, for joining us and as well as giving a clear explanation for this. And my second question is that PSQs as a authority, what is the process of implementation and what are the penalties? Do you have the authority to penalize the industry or the whoever is producing these? Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, we have set the limits of mercury in Pakistan standard, that is 1 ppm. So accordingly, PSQC regulate its activities, check the activities of the mercury in cosmetics products, in consumer products. So if there is a non-conformity against these Pakistan standards, the process is that we have sent the notice to these manufacturers to to correct the quality of these products with respect to mercury. If I'm talking about particularly on the mercury matter. So we have sent once and twice this to the manufacturers. So if continuously the manufacturer failed, then we have sealed the factory. These are the process of penalization.
Okay, thank you. So you have the authority to seal the factory as well, or the producers. So, so what in your data, what is the magnitude of how many of these products are being, I mean, on the standards are being stopped production, or if there is any, please share with us. Thank you.
As I mentioned here, my responsibility is to develop Pakistan standards with respect to cosmetics products. My other colleagues is working in this area, so we need time to collect the data and to share with you.
Okay, thank you very much. And in the last discussion, we invited a senior officer from Customs FBR, Customs Intelligence, and he was here, and he mentioned about the digitalization of all the their system. So they are. They said that he said that they are just in contact with the PSQCA, and for the export, there is a certification by the PSQCA. So do you have your own lab? What is the process for that? Thank you.
Yes, we have a lab here in Karachi and Lahore and Peshawar. They are continuously testing the consumer products here in 3 cities. Regarding the digitalization, our import and export directorates are engaged with the VBox system and one window system. They are engaged and they are doing some activities. Maybe in future we will be doing the all activity through a fully digitalization system.
Okay, thank you very much. And as Dr. Zagam has mentioned about the EIA report, which has shown that 70% of the creams contain the mercury export more than 1 ppm are exported from the Pakistan, and there is a online platforms which are operated from the Pakistan. Do you have any legislation with you, or your authority can act on these issues also?
No, we are enforcing the consumer products just like a skin cream, manufacturing level, selling level, and import level only. So regarding exports, we have no any data.
And for online platforms also, you don't have any legislation or on any data on that?
No, so far no. In my knowledge, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mahyuddin Saab. We will be coming back to you again, and then after for your final comment on that. Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
So now we have, we can start with on the technical side, where Dr. Naeem Raza with us, who is President, Pakistan Association of Dermatologists, and Brigadier Dr. Naeem Raza is currently the President of Representative Platform Pakistan Association of Dermatologists, Karachi. He is responsible for overlooking the aspects of professional development, research, promotion, networking, public awareness, advocacy, and standardization of the care in the field of dermatology. So my question, I was just thinking about that. So in your practice, or in your, obviously you have many, you are chairing many forums, what is the magnitude of this issue, and how is our regulatory authorities are responding to that overall in cosmetics, or particularly for the skin whitening creams? Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I am grateful to Dr. Razia Safdar and all the organizers for inviting us. Myself, Professor Nadi Astar from Lahore and Professor Sajid Abassam from Karachi. Actually, the trend and desire to use this whitening creams is so rampant in our country. आवाज आ रही है आपको? This trend and desire to use skin whitening cream is so rampant in our country that every female, and even males, they're running about from here and there, from one dermatologist to another dermatologist, and they desire to get their skin whitened overnight. So this is a very dangerous trend. And the reason is our cultural preferences. Their desire, advocacy by the social media, advocacy by the manufacturers, maybe I won't say, but part played by the legislations and the implementation. So all we are responsible. I think dermatologists are equally responsible. Without knowing the contents, we are prescribing things. So what to talk about anyone else? Let me quote my own example. About 2 years back, a lady came to me with melasma, black and brown patches on face. कि डॉक्टर साहब बड़ी खिरियों कोई दवाई लिख दें. So I prescribed azelaic acid and CNC. She came back after a month कि डॉक्टर साहब कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा और बाकी there was no difference. I changed the medicines. She again came after a month कि डॉक्टर साहब कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा अब क्या करूँगा. So I called one of my colleagues कि जी आप क्या लिखते हैं मुझे बताएं ताकि मैं भी लिखूं. तो he said, sir, I write max diff cream, max diff, maximum difference. So I prescribed that. After 1 month she came and there was maximum difference. So I was really impressed, but I got alert कि क्या हो गया, कितनी जल्दी कैसे हो गया. I said continue this medicine for 1 more month. उसके बाद हम change करेंगे इसको ना. When I checked the content, mercury was in thousands. Next, and people I'm supposed to be a responsible senior dermatologist. Even it is my duty to do ethical practice. Without knowing, without checking, even I prescribe sometimes. अब लोगों के issues तो हैं. This is not just saying cultural references. बहुत सी mother they come to us कि जी बच्ची है लोग देखने आते हैं second time आते नहीं हैं in front of the girl. So this is very embarrassing for the girl also. So we need this preference is ingrained into collective mind कि जी हमने गोरा होना है साफ नजर आना है. तो I think we need to work on this society. अब कैसे करेंगे इसमें we all need to be involved. Civil society, general public, dermatologists, manufacturers, policymakers, legislators, implement करने वाले लोग. We all need to be educated first, and then we all need to be working on this issue. This is very important, very dangerous. Let me quote another thing. Today morning, while I was talking to my own girl, my own daughter, she's a university student. उससे मैंने कहा, what do you think about this? कहने लगी आपने तो मुझे बता दिया कि dangerous है, लेकिन अब तो मेरी मर्जी में करूँ ना करूँ. आपने तो बता दिया है. So this is our mindset. A mother, a frustrated mother, she's not pushed about the health hazards क्या होंगे. She is more interested कि जी बच्ची अपने घर को चली जाए ना, health तो बाद में आएगा ना. So we need to work on that. I think legislation is very important. हमें इस पे at least we can make these manufacturers bound कि जी आप कम से कम content तो लिख देना, content लिख के percentage तो लिख दें. अब इस पे मुझे नहीं पता कि किस तरह से काम होगा, but they are supposed to write the contents. Patient has the right to know what she or he is using. Doctor has the right to know what he or she is prescribing. तो अब legislation तो maybe बनी है, लेकिन उसकी implementation कैसे होगी? That is again a very important aspect. उस पे कैसे काम होगा? I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Naim. My other question is like you have mentioned about these trends or the cultural priorities, or so that is there. But as we are sitting here, we want to give obviously this is the demand side, but there is a lot of supply side is so big. So how can we manage that side? Is there any role of dermatologists for that to curb them? Like, for example, if the dermatologist or the doctors or the prescriber don't write, I understand that they are over the counter, but sometimes they are being, as you said, they're being prescribed. How can we do that? How can we manage that supply side?
I think first the prescribers, they need to be educated. In prescribers, I would say dermatologists, aesthetic physicians, beauticians, even quacks, they need to be educated. They need to see what a particular product has the contents, what is the percentage. Once they are educated, maybe they start reducing such ambiguous prescriptions. Then we also need to educate the society as a whole. We also need to involve civil society. We also need to involve public. By Pakistan Association of Dermatologists can help by arranging different discussions like this, other conferences. Maybe we can produce some papers after doing some research. Maybe we can pamphlets, videos on social media. We can, I think besides dermatologists, probably we also need to involve psychologists and public health specialists. This is a public health issue. Psychologists may play a role in persuading people that it is the personality, not the appearance, which is more important. But it's a very complicated issue, I would say. If we are all of us involved, all of us need to be educated and all of us need to act.
Okay, and you are president of PAD. So far, is there any thing happening at the PAD platform, or do you have any future plans to bring up this issue on that platform?
Honestly speaking, there's no concerted effort. Individual research works, individual people are working on it, but there's no concerted effort on our part. And we lack in that. We must do that.
We had like a quick study on about from the medical students. We took their information, and it was interesting that many of them were using themselves also, and many of them, they did not know what are the contents, and many of them, they came to know that it is the mercury content is there, and which can damage. I will present it afterwards. So these are the things I think it's important to bring it up to at the institutional level, like for example, and your forum is quite strong. And with this, I will go to Professor Dr. Nadia Asfar from Lahore. Dr. Nadia, are you there?
Ji, Assalamu alaikum.
Ji, walaikum assalam.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, she is very passionate about this issue, and she has been like raising this issue in the previous consultation. We were blessed with her presence, and she made some good points, and also which are practical. So regarding the public awareness and also the medical fraternity, like as Dr. Naeem has mentioned about the education or the trainings of the dermatologists as well. So we will ask from her about her take on the public awareness side, and particularly the medical students or the next generation doctors. What are their how can they intervene in this section? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Razia, and Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I am again grateful that you've invited me in this panel as a panelist, and I've been working on this, you are right, on my own personal level, like to start off with, whenever I get the opportunity with my patients, I try to discourage them the use of whitening creams. And even there was a joke that one day somebody was listening to me, and I was counseling them that why are you after the skin tone? Why don't you pray 5 times a day? Your skin would be very bright. And that fun of me was made by many people. Like this, your practice will never be successful. So you see, this is something I remember that when I was a PG student way back in 2004, there was no concept of skin whitening. I think Brigadier Naeem would agree that we never used to prescribe, and we never ever had these products in the market as well. Gradually, the trends change as aesthetic dermatology came into its being, and the cosmeceutical industry became a giant right now. And there are more than 52 companies who are making lightening products. They said lightening, but actually it is whitening. Talking about public awareness, it starts with the individual dermatologist, and everyone should be aware of this ethical practice, and they should practice it. Afterwards comes the students, because we are working, like I am in a government setup and I have an interaction with the medical students. I am planning, though the curriculum has not included skin whitening lecture, but I have included one lecture on skin whitening and skin lightening agents, just to make them aware what is the right product to use, which would say a healthy skin tone, promote a healthy skin, and what not to use. So this is just one medical college, but I would say if they include it over all the medical students, for all the medical students all over the country, and wherever we are working, wherever setups we are involved. And other than that, we can also arrange seminars and public awareness in which we can invite the young doctors or the medical students at the level of PAD as well, as Sir Naeem was saying, and some other places as well. Like we are often told to talk to the GPs. So why not to educate the general practitioner as well? Because they are also the prescribers. So we all have to, and then at the end, we can also try to make some pamphlets or a small, awareness notes and circulate them when we are doing our OPDs. We can put them in different languages all over the country. Like already we are working on another project with Dr. Naeem. So we can also take this up and we can continue with this. So I think, and having said that, all these products are sold over the counter. We all know that, and any student or any person can get these from the medical store, and mostly people do go to the stores and get these products. So we have to straight away end up the sale of whitening products, which I have in mind. And the legislative bodies and the regulatories, they should know that they have to, unless and until they have declared the true product, and they should be banned from the market. The entire pharmaceutical team should, I mean, the not the particular pharmaceutical company should be banned if they are found guilty of making one bad product. All their products should be banned. If you punish one of them, everyone would, I think, would take this warning, and there could be, some positive steps in this direction.
Thank you very much, Dr. Professor Saba. Professor Saba, these days the online platforms are very popular, and most of these, one of the allegation was the online platforms are operating through Pakistan, in Pakistan. So, what about? Do you have any idea about that, or how? Any suggestion for to curb those platforms or to implement this standards on them also? Thank you.
Actually, this you are very right that the social media is playing a major role in this, and many of our patients, when they come to us, they are already in the habit of using online products, which they get from the all these sources all around, and the social media is promoting it. To curb that, again, you have to put restrictions to the companies who are promoting these products. Like, for example, I am a dermatologist. I am under PHC. I am under PRA. There are many legislative authorities who are taking care of what I am doing at my clinic and everything. Likewise, the pharmaceutical industry is giving these ads on the social media. They should be restricted on that, because this will never stop if the social media continues to play its role. And everyone is obviously using that. Even the person who is not literate, they are also using that, and they are ordering things from the those platforms if they have one or two people in their home who can manage that. So the marketing practices have to be stopped or changed for that matter. And even if they are using the social media, they should be issuing box warnings as well. Like I think FDA has always issued warnings for us on certain drugs which are approved for a certain indication and not approved for others, and there are box warnings on those for the use of those drugs. So yeah, just like in cigarette smoking, the people are selling cigarettes, but there is a warning on the box as well. Likewise, on the social media, they should have that warning or one or two, three side effects mentioned of the hazards of using the whitening creams. That could be one step forward ahead in this direction, I think, because the transparency of the product is very important, and the side effect should be mentioned as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Professor Saiba, you are head of department, dermatology department at Allama Iqbal Medical College, Lahore. And also you are you are part of the international, you are international secretary of the PAD, and is now you are joint secretary for Pakistan PAD. So how do you see, are how you are utilizing these platforms to improve the health of the people, particularly the skin health of the population? Thank you.
And so, Razia, first I would like to clarify that Pakistan Association of Dermatologists, they have their election every year for the executive body. I was the joint secretary previously in the previous year, but this year I wasn't in the, executive committee. So I'm no longer, I'm just a member of the PAD, but I'm not an office bearer. And about being the head of dermatology department, we have two dermatology departments in Allama Iqbal Medical College and Hospital, Lahore, and I'm heading one of the departments. Right. And while working in Allama Iqbal Medical College, I can play a major role on this platform every day in the OPDs as well in my indoors and, with the students as well. I can work with them. But as far as PAD is concerned, I think I'm not in a position for that. Obviously, I will play a part if something is taken up by the executive body, and we can work with them to make some positive steps in this direction. Otherwise, I can on my own, we can, if we are some like-minded people who agree to join me, and just like Professor Sadia is here and Dr. Naeem is there, then we can also start these small seminars in several district areas or in colleges, medical colleges. Ke alawa bhi we have these girls and boys colleges, because boys are equally affected by this trend right now. Yeah, not only. And then I have been talking on certain platforms like the social media. There is a video of mine circulating about the talking against the whitening creams. But when I read the reviews and the comments, I was not at all happy with them, because nobody was happy, I think, with that. So it is a bold step, but we can definitely, with your help, we can carry this on, or we could do few research projects in this direction along with PAD or otherwise.
I think together we can make the difference. So thank you very much. So we move to the next panelist. We have Dr. Ikra Shrafat. She is a PhD in microbiology from Quaid-e-Azam University, and currently she is serving as assistant and director technical at PSQCA Islamabad. So welcome, Dr. Ikra. So if we can ask you about the processes which are happening in the at your office, how we can intervene in these any product which is having this which is not responding to the standards, for example the skin whitening creams, and what are your challenges at the PSQCA if you want to ban something, or if you want to de-register some company or something like that. Is there any challenges you are facing? Then thank you.
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to attend this session. With regard to the challenges we are currently facing, and the areas we require like cooperation as well. So I will summarize those areas one by one. First of all, I would like to highlight the first and very important like the challenge which PSQCA is facing is the existence of informal markets in all over the country, and which are being oversight, which are not being regulated, और जिनके लिए फिर ये कि हम कुछ कर भी नहीं सकते, क्योंकि उन्हें ट्रैक करना और मॉनिटर करने के लिए हमारे पास कोई kind of we don't have any digital system or any integrated efforts. So this is first challenge, and the second thing which I would like to highlight is demand for cheaper products from the consumer. As Sir Dr. Naeem Raza also said, like हमारी जो public है, जो consumer है, they are not educated, first thing. And second thing, their economic capacity that is hindering their the thing जिसकी वजह से they are inclined towards more cheaper products. So that is second thing. और इसके लिए फिर हमारी जो price control authorities हैं, they have to come forward for integrated efforts as well. Third one, which our DG Tawfiq Ali Abbasi Sahib as well mentioned, is with regard to the shortage of human resource and field officers, field staff, particularly for tracking and monitoring, different products which are non-compliant to the standards. So, and also lack of laboratories and advanced equipment as well. So, and accredited laboratories, particularly to measure the mercury content of the samples. And the fourth one is consumer education. We need to educate our consumers as well as our manufacturers as well. With regard to consumer की जो education है, उसके लिहाज से Dr. Naeem साहब और Dr. Nadia ने like they have already elaborated. I would I would add to this thing that our manufacturer जो है, that also needs education with regard to that. We can arrange training sessions for the awareness of the those manufacturers, और हम उन्हें mercury free जो products हैं, skin whitening creams, उनकी manufacturing की तरफ हम उन्हें लेके आ सकते हैं. So उसके लिए I would like to invite all those stakeholders जो हमारे साथ जो है like join कर सकते हैं effort for that. And with regard to the recommendations, I believe when there are challenges, we have opportunities as well. So I would like to like यहाँ पे मैं highlight करना चाहूँगी certain interventions जो हम करना चाहते हैं, which are under pipeline, हम consider कर रहे हैं, and जिनमें different जो stakeholders हैं, they can join effort, our effort. So first thing that I would like to highlight here is that we are planning, जैसा as I mentioned earlier कि हमें tracking और monitoring में बहुत ज़्यादा इस वक्त issue है market में with regard to non-compliance of the products. तो उस लिहाज से we want to develop a system and we want to make a project with our stakeholders as well, जिसमें जो है एक digital platform जो है web based हम application जो है project हम जो है develop करना चाहते हैं, and we need joint efforts of our stakeholders. And इस system के through हम active alert system जो है develop करना चाहते हैं for you can say for rapid sharing of information. One such system which is already in place in Europe, that is REPEX system, which is EU REPEX system. And this EU REPEX system is actually stands for Euro Safety Gate Regulatory Alert System. And in this system, when for example कोई भी जो European member state है, whenever it has found a product which is non-compliant to the standard or legislation, yeah, or they suspect that this could be नहीं है ये in compliance, so they send an alert to the European Commission through that system right away. And then that European Commission then further conveys the information to all other stakeholders, including public whenever required. So we want to develop and establish such system like in the initial phase in at regional level in Pakistan and then regional level. Or इसके लिए we invite our stakeholders कि वो they can like join our efforts. Second thing which I would like to highlight is with regard to developing stricter regulations for enforcement of legislation and our standard, which is 3228/2017, which is the third revision of this standard, as Dr. Razia also mentioned earlier in her presentation. So the fourth, so this in this under this proposal, so, we want to develop stricter regulations as well. और इसमें हमारी जो main एक वो stakeholder, that is PGCRA, Pakistan General Regulation Authority, that is like that's a good thing कि at the कि वो भी हमारे साथ अब efforts को join करेंगे as a new authority soon. तो इसमें ये है कि हम स्ट्रिक्टर रेगुलेशंस एंड पेनल्टीज जो हैं उनको फर्दर हम रिवाइज कर सकते हैं फॉर द नॉन कंप्लाइंट प्रोडक्ट्स एंड और इसमें वन सच प्रपोजल फ्रॉम आवर साइड इज conducting an independent survey, right? That how many products, variants, and of skin whitening creams are present in the market, और उनमें मर्करी की कंटेंट कितनी है. और इसमें ये कि विद रिगार्ड टू PSQCA, what PSQCA can help is we can provide assistance with regard to sampling and field operations and with regard to research activities as well, or wherever our offices are located all over across the country. So this is the second intervention या proposal आप समझ लें कि that we want to invite our stakeholders to join our efforts. And the third proposal from our side is the point where stakeholders can join and support the efforts of PSQCA actually is that in addition to skin whitening creams, there are many other cosmetics products, including soap and surma, kajal, and there are so many eyes and facial cosmetics products जो मार्केट में अवेलेबल हैं एंड वी आर नॉट एबल टू उसके लिए हमारे पास जो स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं पाकिस्तान स्टैंडर्ड्स they are either not available or they are not revised or they are under voluntary scheme of PSQCA. So इसमें ये कि different stakeholders can join our efforts कि हम उनके लिए standards develop करें further with regard to mercury and other heavy metals and other जो hazardous जो substances हैं उनके लिए, और उसमें हम standards develop कर सकते हैं new या जो which are existing and they are not updated. And then third category is there are certain standards which are under voluntary scheme but they may contain mercury and they should be under mandatory. So this is one aspect जिस पे हम further काम कर सकते हैं with our joint efforts. And the fourth and last point that I would like to present is that with regard to educating our public as well as consumer, public, consumer and manufacturers. पब्लिक के लिहाज से अवेयरनेस के लिहाज से तो हमारे यहाँ पे बाकी पैनलिस्ट ने भी बात कर ली. आई वुड लाइक टू अगेन टच अपॉन द पॉइंट विद रिगार्ड टू द with regard to the manufacturer कि उनके लिए हमें मर्करी फ्री प्रोडक्ट के लिए की तरफ ट्रांजिशन के लिए हमें उनको अपने साथ उनको सपोर्ट भी करना है और हमें आपस में भी एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करना है. सो दीज वर माय पॉइंट्स कि जहाँ पे हम इंटरवेंशंस जो हैं कर सकते हैं और उसके लिए हमें आई हैव put forward these points in the form of proposal as well कि जिसमें आप लोग जो हैं different stakeholders, industries हैं, academia है और particularly with regard to surveys and research studies, so उसमें PSQCA can extend its support wherever it is required.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ikra. Well said that industry needs to be educated as well. So just a small question, like what about do you have included the online platforms as well as and the informal sector you said in the earlier also?
Yeah.
So
like not the online, we don't have any legislation as per my knowledge. We don't have anything with regard to online platforms. And the second thing is, sorry,
smuggled or the informal
yeah, with regard to informal sector, उसी के लिए मैंने जो है हमने वो proposal जो है kind of एक project जो है हम डिवाइस करना चाह रहे हैं कि उसमें हमारे पास एक तो ये ह्यूमन रिसोर्स की ऑलरेडी हमारे पास शॉर्टेज है, लेकिन इसके अलावा जो और उसमें ये कि PGCRA, the second authority which is being established to work with us. तो I believe and I hope so कि उससे भी हमारी efforts को एक वो strong एक वो मिलेगा, फ्यूचर में सपोर्ट मिलेगी. And secondly ये है कि उसके लिए हम when we have developed an online or something digital tool or the system, like I said, the EU REPEX system, so uske through we can enhance our output and outcome as well.
Thank you, Dr. Ikra. So now we have Dr. Sadia Tabassum. She is the Program Director and Section Head of Dermatology at AKU. She is also the Vice President of Pakistan Association of Dermatologists Sindh and member of member Dermatology Faculty College of Physicians and Surgeons Pakistan, Karachi. So, so now welcome, Dr. Sadia. So I think you have listened to our discussion. So what is the overview of what is happening at your site? And also, is there any alternatives which we can be suggested to the industry, or which can be suggested to the public in the public awareness forms? Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I hope I'm audible. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. And thank you, the SDPI team and Razia, for taking us on board. And this is a very important issue in our country. And we cannot underestimate the importance and how it is affecting in every segment of our community. So first of all, I would just like to briefly just clarify what is the concept of colorism. So it actually is a discrimination that is based on skin tone that is often within the same ethnic or racial group. So it's a little bit different with the racism, but it stems from there. So going back into the roots of it, so it stems from the colonial influences that we have, the class structures, the historical narratives that is equated with a fair skin color that is associated now with power, privilege, status, and it does on ground affect the opportunities of these individuals. And not to underestimate the effect of media representation. So the portrayal of fair skin as an ideal in advertising, popular culture reinforces these biases. So what happened is we are now dealing with the Gen Z and Gen Alpha and even the Gen X. All these people, they are influenced by skin color. So that is colorism, that within the same race, we prefer certain lighter skin tones. That goes back historically and roots from the colonialism and all these European influences and all that. So first of all, we need to make the people or patients or community understand is to embrace the natural skin color. And then we have to, first of all, now coming to the practical solutions of all these, we have to find out ways and strategies how to counter this. So first of all, we need to ascertain that the type of whitening creams that are available in the market, first of all, we need a standardized lab that should be based on one center or one city. And all these leading brands, their whitening creams or the creams that's used for pigmentation to be tested. And then to ascertain the amount of mercury and steroids in them. And to counter all these, education is of utmost importance. My esteemed colleagues have already highlighted that we need to run campaign on that. Then we have to challenge media representation. We have to break stereotypes. We have to encourage diverse skin tones in advertising and media. So controlling the media is utmost important. Then through campaigns, we can promote the body positivity. We can foster self-acceptance, self-love, and acceptance and embracement of our genetic skin color that we belong to. In our technical terms, we call it the type 4 and the type 5 skin. So the support that we need is through inclusive research. So all the teaching institutes, the leading teaching institutes that can advocate for diverse participant representation in skin studies. In these studies, we can have, first of all, ascertain how much influence this media platform is playing a role in that. And then we can call for action. We can encourage the audience to question and challenge the colorist attitudes. We can emphasize the importance of inclusivity and then invite participants to share their experiences and insights. So all this, we need your support. And as a current office bearer, It's never too late. We always are on it. In individual setups, we are doing these things. But from the PAD platform, we can definitely take this up and start from the new beginning. But we still need the support for testing of these creams or awareness campaigns, etc. So some of the recommended resources that can supplement our campaign would be the WHO Skin Health. That is a division of theirs. Then we have the American Academy of Dermatology, Skin of Color Division. And then there's a Journal of Clinical and Aesthetic Dermatology. We can publish our work. We can even share our experiences based on qualitative research. So we can, sort of run the Skin Deep project for creating awareness and then moving forward from there. So we do need some support for testing and for running these campaigns. That's from my side.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nadia, for highlighting these issues. Now we have with us Dr. Tahira Shahid. She is an aesthetic physician with her own private clinic in Islamabad. And apart from this, she is also a philanthropist, corporate trainer, television personality, and health activist, hosting many renowned TV shows on the health awareness sessions. So welcome, Dr. Tahira Shahid. So we are coming to the end of this discussion. So I would like to ask we have talked about social media as well as the public awareness. And how do you see this public awareness through your capacities, and also how the television advertisements or any platform advertisements are affecting the people, and what is in your practice? What are you experiencing in your practice? Thank you.
Thank you very much to your organization as well as yourself for inviting me here. And I'd like to clarify more of my presence is due to being associated with the media as a PTV anchor with PTV News, PTV World, as well as ATV and an RJ on Suno FM. And all these are health programs for the past 15 years. So that is why I'm sitting here in that capacity. The other things are with it. Yes, I am a practicing dermatologist as well. Now to point out the first things first, we spoke about a lot of things and about colorism and everything, but to change the attitude, there was a very recent drama that just winded up yesterday, Kabhi Main Kabhi Tum, very famous, everybody was talking about it. And the woman, the lead heroine is someone who is extremely fair, and all our heroines are very, very fair. So the ideals of our girls are extremely fair-skinned and white. And the other girl, on the contrary, who has come from abroad, she's dark-skinned. She's a graduate in acting. Her acting and her personality is far better, but she was given a negative role because her skin color is dark. Also, the hero, who was previously dark-skinned and did not get any roles, neither did his father get any significant roles, but now is accepted after he has been taking glutathione injections and extensive whitening treatment from the most renowned dermatologists of our country. And all our aesthetic physicians and all our dermatologists themselves, who were previously not so fair, are now found to be extremely white, glowing, with the Korean glass skin that they are advertising. So it is not just skincare or skin whitening creams, it is anything and everything that causes whitening or brightening, even if it is an Insta filter, because all our girls use Snapchat to post their pictures. They don't use their original filter. And the reason is our acceptance. We do not accept them in marriage. We do not accept them in colleges. We do not accept them, and I'm not lying when our professors, unfortunately, even during Viva, are extremely judgmental about dark-skinned girls and do not favor them. And also in terms of opportunity at the workplace, we are never given opportunity if our skin tone is lighter, if it's darker. You will see that in all these, whether it's a front-end job or it is not. And in fact, they have started specifying that this certain body type and certain complexion is required in the person who is going to apply, and it is very open out there. So it is going to take a very long time to actually change this, and that is only possible if we start including by force in our advertising agencies or in our, for example, in our TV channels. It should be mandatory that if 4 of anchors are there or 4 actors are there, 2 have to represent the other skin color as well. It cannot be all of them, all those who are awarded, all those who are popular, all those who are considered ideal are the same. It should start from the nursery rhymes, from the fairy tales, from what is written behind our trucks. "Ja jalne wale ka muँह काला." Right? क्यों काला? जलने वाले गोरे भी बहुत होते हैं, बहुत गंदे वाले गोरे भी होते हैं, right? So it has to change. We have to change our galia, our way of looking at things, and that requires changing our stories. We made a very good animated movie recently, The Glass Worker, right? But even in that, you see our characters are fair-skinned. How many of us are naturally fair-skinned? The most product that we sell most is that cryoline whitening stick. The moment you go to shoot even if I invite him to my studio for PTV, they will put that stick on him first. And you know what they will tell him? No, our screen requires you to look bright. It doesn't require you to look bright, but this is in our mind that we have to look bright. So it will take a very huge revolution to change this mindset, and we will have to forcibly start advertisement campaigns that talk about the harmful effects of this cream. For example, we were very successful in, fanning myths. For instance, everybody doesn't go for polio vaccination, thinking that it will cause sterility. Polio does not cause sterility, but yes, mercury does cause erectile dysfunction. It does cause sterility. It does cause teratogenicity and childbirth defects. The more and more we speak about this on the radio, on television, on our news, on our press, and then we pay these, I'm sorry to say, very pathetic influencers who say anything for money and ask them to represent it. They will do it for money, but at least people will hear them, because all our conferences are sponsored by the same pharmaceutical industry that is actually selling these whitening creams. All these conferences, all the foreign tours of the doctors, all the billboards, everything is sponsored, and so much so that everything that goes on Google or on a review or on your search or on SE, search engine optimization, is also through money, and pharmaceutical industry puts in heavy money. So we will have to put in heavy money to counter that narrative, and it's very easy to say shut down this and shut down that, but to actually shut it down, we'll have to be shutting down a lot of commercial capitalist benefit that each one of us is extracting out of that, because people, and especially everybody nowadays, is an aesthetic physician. It is not limited to dermatology. We have physiotherapists, we have nutritionists, psychologists, at least they are health professionals. We have people who are nothing and who have no formal education of any sort, who call themselves skin experts. And these skin experts are the ones speaking on online media. On online, you see them, they have huge following, they have huge boosts, sponsorships, and they keep getting PR, and they proclaim themselves to be skin experts. And the formulations given are not sold in any way. We have they have this box, plastic box, in which they mix the Kligman's formula, which is very, the famous Archie creams, Stillman bleach cream, Becnovit, and Fair and Lovely. The combination that every girl has used in Pakistan extensively on her hands, feet, and face to get fair. And this is sold by different names: herbal, organic, magic formula, and so much so that I recently had someone come from a peer who is giving this marham to get noor on your face. So yeah, so we have all sorts of things, and we cannot really control this. So it is extremely essential that we tell them that this noor on the face is not going to come from anything else, and a healthy complexion is a flawless complexion. And that comes from the confidence you have. When you say you're beautiful, the world calls you beautiful. If you walk in here thinking that I'm any less from anyone, you're going to feel that way. Unfortunately, now we have from our US election yesterday, the Trump who has come in. And I remember how he had spoken about chloroquine and said, drink detergent, and the world drank the detergent during COVID times. So the world is more about people who are loud, boisterous, and flamboyant without seeing who actually has academic roots and who's speaking the truth and who's saying, because the truth is very boring. It doesn't come, associated with the glamour. So we will have to introduce our narrative into glamour, and we will also have to repeatedly hammer into all these people that doing this will make your husband sterile and will make you teratogenic and will also make you have tremors before time. You will start going crazy, and start scaring them to the maximum ability, and fear is the only way we'll be able to overcome this.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taira. Such an insightful facts and practices people are having. But one thing I would like to mention is it's genetics as well. So we need to awareness. When we are starting the awareness, we should talk about that also, because our population, whatever we do, we have the genetics also for the skin color and the eye color. We cannot change that. So so that's I think it's very enlightening from the experts, from the dermatologists, from the regulators. And now we are honored to be having Madam Farzana Altaf Saiba. She is Director General Environmental Protection Agency, who are the custodian of Minamata Convention, and she has been instrumental in enforcing the Pakistan Environmental Protection Act 1997 rules and regulations. Her department plays a crucial role in issuing the certificates for the establishment of environmental laboratories in Islamabad and working towards the pollution prevention, environmental protection, and sustainable development. And she was very active in banning the plastic bags in Islamabad a few years back, and she was I think the key person to who took care of that, and she was going by herself for the checking and for implementing this act. Okay, so over to you, Dr. Farzana, as a guest of honor. So thank you very much, and please go ahead. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, Dr. Razia and each and every participant sitting over here, and especially Dr. Abbas Sulairi Sahab, congratulations for holding this event and giving the opportunity to all the experts to be together here to have the joint thinking and brainstorming on such important issues. मैं एक बात अक्सर कहती हूँ, right from Dr. Taira, Dr. Saram, Dr. Naeem and Ikra, everybody spoke very well. लेकिन मेरी एक होती है रिक्वेस्ट होती है कि वो मैसेज हम जिन तक पहुंचाना चाहते हैं उन तक अपनी ज़बान में पहुंचाएं तो ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव होता है. और working in the field of environment from last more than 28 years now, नाला हूं बेदारी ये एहसास के हाथों, नाला हूं बेदारी ये एहसास के हाथों, दुनिया मेरे अफकार की दुनिया नहीं होती. So it is a very painful thing कि जब आपको साइंस के लिहाज से, रिसर्च के लिहाज से, हर लिहाज से ये सारे एस्पेक्ट्स पता हैं कि कितने डेंजरस एरा में हम लोग बैठे हुए हैं, हमारी जनरेशन में हमारे अंदर क्या क्या इम्पैक्ट्स आ रहे हैं, और उसके बावजूद हम कोई हल निकालने में नाकाम हैं. We should admit that. जब तक हम ये नहीं एडमिट करेंगे कि हमारी गलतियां कहाँ कहाँ हैं, हम कभी भी सोल्यूशन नहीं निकाल सकेंगे. मैं सबकी बातें सुन रही थी और हर एक ने बहुत बड़े मुख्तसर वक्त में हर एक्सपर्ट ने इतनी अच्छी बात की, शायद आज से पहले इस सब्जेक्ट पे मैंने किसी फोरम पे नहीं सुनी. और ये क्रेडिट गोज टू डॉक्टर रजिया. मैं डॉक्टर रजिया का एक और आपको बता दूं जो शायद आप लोगों को ना पता हो, STPI में तो ये काफी अरसे से अभी ज्वाइन किया है, लेकिन मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ में इनका जितना इन्वायरमेंट और इन चीज़ों पे मेरे साथ कोऑर्डिनेशन में और वर्किंग में रोल रहा है, शायद मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ में मैं और किसी को नहीं जानती थी सिवाय डॉक्टर रजिया के. सो ये भी चीज़ है कि हमारे लोग कुछ हैं वो जो इन चीज़ों को लेके चल रहे हैं और उसको हमें रिकग्नाइज करने के साथ उनकी इन एफर्ट्स में उनका साथ देने की ज़रूरत है. कुछ दिन पहले इन्होंने STPI के अंदर मीनामाटा पे एक सेशन किया और उसमें हमारी इस हद तक बात हुई थी कि हम इस इशू को अपनी पार्लियामेंट में लेके जाएंगे और इस पे हम कोई स्ट्रॉन्ग लेजिस्लेशन लाएंगे. तो ये भी एक मैं क्रेडिट अगेन डॉक्टर रजिया को ही दूंगी कि सिंस ज्वाइनिंग STPI शी इज वर्किंग ऑन दिस सब्जेक्ट और आज अब सब लोगों को भी इकट्ठा करने में इनका रोल है, बाकी किसी का कोई कमाल नहीं है. और सेकंड, मैं ट्रिब्यूट पेश करूंगी डॉक्टर महमूद ख्वाजा को, जिन्होंने आज से बहुत साल पहले इस बात पे शोर मचाना शुरू किया था कि ये केमिकल्स कॉस्मेटिक्स के अंदर ठीक नहीं है, इस पे बात करो. अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो आज हमारे दरमियान नहीं है, लेकिन उनको याद मैं हमेशा करती हूँ और उनकी इस पे बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन रही है. उस वक्त शायद आज से 25 साल पहले भी जब मैं STPI के साथ काम कर रही थी, इट वाज ओनली डॉक्टर महमूद ख्वाजा जो साइकेम के फोरम पे और केमिकल्स की किसी भी फोरम पे आके बैठ जाते थे और ही स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग अबाउट इट. सो बात यह है कि हम कितनी सक्सेस हासिल कर सके अवेयरनेस में या इन चीजों में. मीनामाटा कन्वेंशन की अभी डॉक्टर जैगम ने बात की. हमारे पास एक जापानीज कंसल्टेंट आया और आप ये देखिए कि जापान जैसे मुल्क में अपने एक लोगों में एक डिफॉर्मिटी देखते हुए पूरी दुनिया को इस लॉ पे ले आए हैं और मीनामाटा कन्वेंशन बना दिया कि जिसके हम सब सिग्नेटरी हुए, हम रेटिफाई कर चुके हैं और हमारे लिए मैंडेटरी है कि अब उसकी हम कंप्लाइंसेस करें. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त हम देखें तो कैसे कैसे हमारे प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे हैं केमिकल्स की वजह से और हम कोई एक इनिशिएटिव लेने में भी उतने सक्सेसफुल नहीं है. रादर जो इनिशिएटिव लिए गए हैं उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में भी हम कहाँ आज स्टैंड कर रहे हैं. कलमवाला लाहौर के पास एक जगह है, अगर उसका एपिसोड पता हो तो वहाँ फ्लोराइड की एक्सेसिव यूज से एक पूरे ट्राइब की लोगों की बोन में डिफॉर्मेशन आ चुकी है. बट वी हैव नॉट टेकन एनी इनिशिएटिव अबाउट इट. आज से 20 साल पहले ये चीज डिस्कवर हुई थी, लेकिन अभी तक आई डोंट सी कि किसी ने उस पर इनिशिएटिव लिया हो, उस पर रिसर्च की हो, इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ. मैं ये नहीं कहूंगी कि एक उंगली में उधर कर दूं और 3 उंगलियां भूल जाऊं. सो इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि हमारे लोकल लेवल पे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं और हम उनको कैसे करें. कलमवाला में अभी तक उसके बाद शायद ना हमारी कहीं पे अवेयरनेस हो रही है, ना हम इस चीज को रियलाइज कर रहे हैं. एक बड़ी अच्छी मूवी थी एरन ब्रोकविच, आप सब ने शायद देखी हो. द लेडी इज वन ऑफ माय फेवरेट एक्ट्रेस. लेकिन जब वो मूवी फर्स्ट टाइम एयर हुई तो मैंने कहा इस मूवी को कोई ना कोई ऑस्कर अवार्ड मिलेगा. एंड माय चिल्ड्रन सिटिंग विद मी दे सेड कि ये क्या है. मैंने कहा देखो, आई हैव वॉच्ड दैट मूवी मोर देन 10 टाइम्स और हर दफा उसमें एक नया एस्पेक्ट सामने आता है दैट इज टोटली अबाउट द केमिकल कंटेमिनेशन इन द वाटर. और उसका एक बड़ा खूबसूरत डायलॉग है कि जब वो कंपनी कंपनसेशन के लिए एक इफेक्टी के पास जाती है तो वो उससे पूछती है कि व्हाट यू वुड लाइक टू चार्ज फॉर योर यूट्रस. कि एक खातून जो है वो डिप्राइव हो जाती है अपनी रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ से, एक अपनी बोन मैरो कैंसर उसको हो जाता है. प्लीज वॉच दैट. और ये चीज है हमें अवेयर करने की इसमें. और ये ग्लूटाथायोन की भी बात डॉक्टर तायरा ने कर दी और वाकई हम मरकरी से हट के अभी इसका इतना स्वेयर क्रेज हो चुका है लोगों में कि आप मीडिया पे देखें, इनफॉर्मल देखें, फेसबुक पे देखें, हर सेकंड एड इस पे है कि आप कैसे गोरे हो सकते हैं और इतनी उसकी वैरायटी. और इट इज नॉट अ चीप ट्रीटमेंट इवन. आप इसके रेट देखें, जी सेल चल रही है इनकी जैसे जूतों पे सेल होती है. सो दिस इज अनफॉर्चुनेटली हैपनिंग कि लोगों को इतना अट्रैक्ट कर दिया गया इस मार्केट में. डर्माटोलॉजी का और एस्थेटिक का कॉन्सेप्ट ही डिफरेंट हो गया है. डर्माटोलॉजी इज अ ट्रीटमेंट, बट व्हाट इज द एस्थेटिक? दैट इज अ लग्जरी और दैट इज अ मिसयूज ऑफ सो मेनी थिंग्स. हो सकता है कुछ बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हो. आई मेट सेवरल डर्माटोलॉजिस्ट एंड एस्थेटिक कंसल्टेंट्स और आई फाउंड एवरीवन डिफरेंट from his practice. Professional hai even. I went to the few aesthetics and they refused to do some treatments कि ये हम नहीं करेंगे. तो ये ethics हैं, लेकिन to किस हद तक है और जो जरूरत है बहुत सारी चीजों में उसको प्रमोट करने की भी जरूरत है, लेकिन ये गोरेपन वाली जो चीज है ये बहुत ज्यादा अलार्मिंग है. तो इसमें सबसे बड़ी चीज मैं एक और शेयर करूंगी और मैं हर इस फोरम पे बैठे हुए सबके और STPI का एक और क्रेडिट भी होता है कि इनकी बहुत सारी वीडियोस ऑनलाइन भी होती हैं. बट यूजिंग द उर्दू लैंग्वेज اردو انگلش میں جائے بغیر. I learned one thing from my daughter. She was pregnant. تو اس نے کوئی ایپ ڈاؤن لوڈ کی اینڈ ون ڈے میں نے اس سے کہا چلو فیشل کروانے چلتے ہیں. تو اس نے کہا سوری میں فیشل نہیں کروا سکتی. میں نے کہا کیوں؟ کہتی ہے اس میں جو وہ ملٹیپل کیمیکلز یوز کرتے ہیں وہ اسکن میں پینیٹریٹ ہو کے فیٹس تک جاتے ہیں. شی ہیز نتھنگ ٹو ڈو ود میڈیکل سائنسز بایولوجیکل سائنسز, شی از این انجینئر. لیکن اس ایپ کی ہیلپ سے what she taught me, I know کہ مرکری کا تو امپیکٹ ڈائریکٹ آپ کی مینٹل گروتھ اور اس پہ آتا ہے. ایون انہیل بھی کر لیں تو ہمارے اسٹنٹ بچے آتے ہیں اور فیٹس کے اندر یہ چیزیں جاتی ہیں, اور اس کی جو پرسسٹنسی ہے مرکری کی مور دین 50 years آپ کی باڈی میں کمولیٹ ہو جاتی ہے اور کبھی بھی نہیں نکلتی. لیکن what she told me, she is not using any chemical at all. Even just for a moisturizing, she said we don't know کہ اس moisturizer کے اندر بھی کس قسم کے کیمیکل شامل ہیں. We should not use. We are not doing any education to our those girls جو اویئر ہی نہیں ہے اس چیز سے کہ ان کو کس قسم کی چیزیں چہرے پہ یا میک اپ کے, اور شادیوں میں میک اپ کرنا ہماری ایک عام پریکٹس بن چکی ہے. اور اس میں وہ کیا کیمیکل کس لیول کا یوز کر رہے ہیں. 2 دن پہلے میں نے اس ایریا میں ایک جگہ ریڈ کی پولیس کے ساتھ, اور وہاں پہ ہم ہاسپٹل ویسٹ کو چیک کرنے گئے. پتا چلا اس ایریا میں گھروں کے اندر کاسمیٹکس بنانے کی فیکٹریاں لگی ہوئی ہیں. آپ یہ بتائیے کہ وہ کاسمیٹکس کس کیمیکل سے بن رہی ہوں گی. اور پاکستان میں انفارچونیٹلی ہر لڑکی کی ضرورت بن گئی ہے کاسمیٹکس. میں وہ بات نہیں کروں گی, یہاں بیٹھے ہوئے شاید ہم لوگ جا کے دیکھتے ہوں گے کہ ہم کس برانڈ کا لے رہے ہیں, لیکن ہماری بچیاں جو اتنی اویئر نہیں ہیں, فائنینشلی افورڈ نہیں کر سکتی ہیں, لیکن ان کو کاسمیٹکس چاہیے, تو وہ کس لیول کا کاسمیٹکس لے رہی ہیں, اس کے اندر کیا کیمیکلز ہیں, کیا انگریڈینٹس ہیں, ان پہ ہم بات ہی نہیں کر رہے. اس پہ ہماری زیرو اویئرنیس ہے. ہمارے رائٹلی سیڈ بائی اگین ڈاکٹر طاہرہ, اور میں ریکویسٹ کروں گی کہ اپنے ہر مارننگ شو میں اس پہ ضرور بات کیجیے. ہم آپ دیکھ لیں جتنے بیوٹی سوپس کے کمرشل ہیں, ہماری سیلیبریٹیز کتنے مزے سے آ کے بات کرتی ہیں, میں یہ سب لکس کا یوز کر رہی ہوں, آئی ول نیم دا برانڈ, آئی ڈونٹ ہیو اینی ہیزیٹیشن, وہ یوز کر رہے ہیں. کیا کسی نے آج دن تک آ کے بتایا کہ میں نے یہ کریم یوز کی ہے اور میرے چہرے پہ یہ امپیکٹ آیا ہے؟ نیور. ہم ایسے بیڈ کیسز کو سامنے لا ہی نہیں رہے ہیں. اور یہ کیمیکلز کا یوز جو ہے انفارچونیٹلی اتنا بڑھ چکا ہے کہ اس وقت گلوٹاتھیون کے انجیکشن لینا شاید اگر کاؤنٹ کرتے ہیں, میں یوزلی فار جسٹ ریسرچ اینڈ اویئرنیس پرپز دیکھتی ہوں, تو thousands of the clinics are emerging, and even there are several clinics where they are not qualified doctors. They are just doing by practice. اور یہی نہیں, بہت سارے آپ کے چہرے پہ آپ کی باڈی پہ ایسے وہ یوز کر رہی ہیں مشینز. تو وہ I asked one of the girl who was doing this procedure and she was masters in psychology. This is another tragedy. We are not asking the technicians کہ آپ کی qualification کیا ہے. یہ ٹریجڈی ہے. ہم بہت ساری چیزوں میں بہت پیچھے ہیں ریگولیشن میں, اور میں اس میں یہ ایک اس فورم سے سب سے پہلی میری ریکویسٹ یہ ہوگی, پی ایس کیو سی بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں, ڈرما کی ایسوسی ایشن کے لوگ بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں, میڈیا کے لوگ ہیں, اور سب سے بڑھ کے آپ, تو پلیز اس پہ لیٹس اسٹارٹ ٹاکنگ اباؤٹ اٹ. اور میں ایس ٹی پی آئی کو یہ ریکویسٹ کروں گی کہ لیٹس میک اے اسٹرانگ ریگولیشن آن اٹ, اور ایک ریگولر فورم بنا دیں جس کی رسپانسبلٹی ہو پبلک اویئرنیس, اسپیشلی پریگننٹ خواتین کے لیے. ہمارے بچے اس وقت جس قسم کی پرابلم فیس کریں, نیو بورن, کوئی ریکارڈ نہیں ہے, کوئی ڈیٹا ہمارے پاس موجود نہیں ہے کہ ان بچوں میں اسپیشلی یہ مرکری کی وجہ سے کیا میل ڈیفارمیشن ہو رہی ہے مینٹل لیول پہ, اور اٹ ڈائریکٹلی امپیکٹس دا برین. ہم نے ایک سروے کیا تھا لیڈ اور مرکری کا, اور اس میں 20 years back it was disclosed کہ ہمارے وہ بچے اور پولیس مین جو روڈ پہ ڈیلی ایکسپوز ہوتے ہیں ویہیکولر ایمیشن میں, اور ہمارے پیٹرول کے اندر لیڈ تھا, تو موسٹلی ان کے برین میں ڈیمیج ہو رہا تھا اور ڈپازٹ ہو رہا تھا بلڈ. سو لیڈ واز فیزڈ آؤٹ فرام دا پیٹرول. This is one of the achievement we have done based on the research. So scientific evidence based policy make decision is required in the country. Second, ایک اور چیز میں شیئر کرنا چاہوں گی, ہمارے ڈپارٹمنٹس کا آپس میں اسٹرانگ کوآرڈینیشن, کہ ہم مل کے کتنا پلے کر رہے ہیں اس میں رول. انفارچونیٹلی وی ہیو اے ویری پور کوآرڈینیشن, اسپیشلی ریسرچر, regulator, and then academia. Academia can play the role, लेकिन academia का role जो है बहुत कम हो रहा है, और आज इस फोरम पे तो सबसे बड़ा role हमारा आ जाता है health practitioners का. इसको हम बिल्कुल इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते कि हमारे जो हेल्थ प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं, इवन विदाउट डायग्नोसिस हम प्रिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं, विदाउट रिक्वायरमेंट हम मेडिसिन दिए जा रहे हैं. और उसमें वन ऑफ द, ये डॉक्टर साहब ने बड़ी अच्छी मिसाल की, और एडमिट करना कि वेयर वी आर रॉन्ग इज रियली रिक्वायर्ड नाउ, कि हम अपनी मेडिकेशन के साथ कितना कोई डैमेज किसी को कॉज कर सकते हैं. दिस इज रियली रियली अलार्मिंग. तो आई विल सजेस्ट कि एक रेगुलर फोरम डॉक्टर रजिया आप बनाइए, जिस पे हम और नहीं तो महीने में नहीं तो 3 महीने बाद ही बैठ के इस पे बात करें कि हमारी सक्सेस स्टोरीज क्या है. एज फार एज इन्फोर्समेंट इज कंसर्न, एट इस्लामाबाद लेवल आई एम विथ यू. आइडेंटिफाई करें कहाँ पे सब स्टैंडर्ड ये चीजें हो रही हैं. वी कैन कंफिस्केट फ्रॉम द मार्केट, वी हैव द लेजिस्लेशन ओवर देयर. मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी PSQCA से, प्लीज किसी भी प्रोडक्ट को सर्टिफाई करने से पहले कम से कम उसकी टेस्टिंग मुख्तलिफ लेबोरेटरीज में भेजें, उसके बाद स्टैंडर्ड करें. क्योंकि इसमें विदाउट गोइंग एनी कन्फ्लिक्ट, we have to correct ourselves, being a regulator, being a certifying body, or being a authority to regulate these things. इसमें एक और चीज मैं जो समझती हूँ बहुत जरूरी हो चुकी है अब तक, हमारी अवेयरनेस पे ना तो कहीं गवर्नमेंट लेवल पे इनिशिएटिव लिया जा रहा है. जैसे आज से बहुत साल पहले, अर्ली 80s में या उससे भी पहले, हम पॉपुलेशन पे काम किया करते थे, और हर बच्चे 2 ही अच्छे, और इस किस्म के बड़े ओपनली, हालांकि बड़ा ऑब्जेक्शन भी आती थी जी कि बड़ा चीजों को खुल के बयान किया जाता है, सबज सतारा का इश्तिहार आ रहा है, बाकी कंट्रासेप्टिव्स की बात हो रही है, दैट वाज रिक्वायर्ड. लेकिन आप देखिए पिछले 20 साल से हमने इस पे बात करनी छोड़ दी है, और इस वक्त हमारी पॉपुलेशन कहाँ जा रही है. बात करना छोड़ने के साथ ही वो चीजें जो है लोग भूल जाते हैं और वो पीछे चली जाती हैं. और इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज जो बढ़ रहा है वो हमारी पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ है. सिमिलरली हम जिन जिन चीजों पे अवेयरनेस छोड़ रहे हैं, आप ये देखिए उनके हमें चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं, प्रॉब्लम आ रहे हैं. हमारा इस वक्त टोटल मीडिया उठा के देख लें, हालांकि इस वक्त अगर आप नॉर्मल एक कोई भी टीवी चैनल या किसी जगह पे भी देखना शुरू करें, मोर देन 100 मीडिया चैनल्स आर देयर ऑनलाइन. और यूट्यूब की आप बात ही छोड़ दें कि यूट्यूब पे कितने वीलॉगर्स हैं हमारे, कितने हमारे लोगों ने अपने यूट्यूब चैनल शुरू किए हुए हैं. नन ऑफ देम देयर इज ऑन द अवेयरनेस ऑफ केमिकल्स. अगर आप सर्च करना शुरू करें तो आपको पाकिस्तान का अनफॉर्चुनेटली एक भी यूट्यूब चैनल नहीं मिलेगा जो पब्लिक के लिए किसी मुश्किल का, किसी क्वेश्चन का जवाब दे रहा हो. कि आपको अगर केमिकल्स के बारे में कोई इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, आपको अगर किसी कोई प्रॉब्लम है उसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, एक छोटी सी बात होती है अनफॉर्चुनेटली, उसको लेके हमारे बड़े अच्छे मीडिया के लोगों ने 35-35 मिनट का उनका वीलॉग होता है यूट्यूब पे. बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग कि मरकरी पे आप देख लीजिए, आपको एक नहीं मिलेगा. इसी सब्जेक्ट जिस पे हम बैठे हुए हैं कोई इस पे बात नहीं कर रहा. क्यों नहीं बात कर रहे? हमारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, हम सोशल मीडिया को इस पे यूज नहीं कर रहे. वी नीड टू लॉन्च अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग सोशल मीडिया ऑन दिस एस्पेक्ट. और सबसे बड़ी बात, डॉक्टर रजिया ने ऑलरेडी बात की, डॉक्टर जैगम ने भी बात की है अबाउट हमारी हैजर्डस वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसी, हैजर्डस सब्सटेंसेस पॉलिसी. पूरे पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त हम अभी तक हैजर्डस वेस्ट या हैजर्डस सब्सटेंसेस को डिक्लेयर करने में बहुत पीछे हैं. वी हैव नॉट डिक्लेयर कि कौन से हमारे सब्सटेंसेस हैं जो हमारी मेडिसिन के अंदर नहीं जाने चाहिए, हमारी कॉस्मेटिक्स के अंदर नहीं जाने चाहिए. इवन आई विल रिक्वेस्ट कि ये जो हम 1 ppm की भी बात कर रहे हैं, दैट शुड नॉट बी अलाउड. इवन मरकरी का जो क्लासिफाइड पूरी दुनिया में यूज है, हमें सिर्फ उस यूज पे जाना चाहिए अंडर विच गाइडलाइन हमने 1 ppm भी अलाउ किया हुआ है. बिकॉज एज फार एज EPS laws are concerned, हमारे लॉ में सिर्फ ये है कि डिटेक्शन हम करते हैं वेस्ट वाटर में, और उसमें भी हमने NEQS में इसकी कोई लिमिट नहीं दी हुई है. 0.0001 भी हमने नहीं अलाउ की हुई है. सो दैट वाटर इज नॉट ड्रिंकेबल विच हैज द कंटेमिनेशन ऑफ द मर्करी. सो मैं इसमें ये एक चीज शेयर करना चाहूंगी कि हम एक और सब्जेक्ट है जिस पे काम कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें पूरी दुनिया में एक फोरम बना हुआ है लो लेवल प्रेजेंस ऑफ द GMO, genetically modified organisms. Even world has gone there कि अगर आपकी किसी फूड के अंदर, आपकी किसी और ईटेबल कमोडिटी के अंदर लो लेवल प्रेजेंस ऑफ GMO कंटेंट्स भी है तो वो रिकमेंड नहीं करते यूज करने के लिए। कुजा के हम एक स्टैंडर्ड को रिकमेंड कर रहे हैं, knowingly it is a carcinogenic, knowingly it is harmful for the growth of the children, knowingly it can damage our neurosystem. बड़े बचपन में अक्सर जब हम स्कूल जाया करते थे तो हमारे रास्ते में एक वकील का घर आता था, तो उनके लॉन में बाहर उनका एक बंदा होता था, तो वो बड़ा शोर मचाता था। अक्सर डेली ये रूटीन होती थी और वो गर्मियों में भी धूप में बैठा होता था। एट दैट टाइम आई लर्न अबाउट द मर्करी, तो आई आस्क्ड समवन, बच्चे होते थे हम लोग, छोटे थे, मैंने कहा इस बंदे को क्या प्रॉब्लम है कि ये गर्मी में भी धूप में बैठा होता है। तो somebody told कि इसने गलती से पारा पी लिया था जो कि इसकी बॉडी से ड्रेन नहीं हो रहा। इट इज मैटर ऑफ द मोर देन 40 years बैक कि वो इसकी बॉडी से ड्रेन नहीं हो रहा, तो ये जब गर्मियों में भी धूप में बैठता है तो इसको रिलीफ मिलता है कि वो जहां भी बॉडी में उस वक्त एकमुलेट हुआ है वो थोड़ा टेम्परेचर की वजह से उसको वो प्रॉब्लम फील नहीं होता। बट दैट मैन लिव्ड विद दैट क्वांटिटी ऑफ द मर्करी फॉर रेस्ट ऑफ हिज लाइफ। वो जो इंटेंशनली एक क्वांटिटी चाहे 2 mg थी, 3 mg थी, वो उस बंदे ने ले ली तो कहाँ पे उसका एंड अप हुआ होगा। और हम अनइंटेंशनली अगर 1 ppm छोड़े, 1 bbm बी हम ले, पार्ट्स पर बिलियन, still it is going into our cell system, it is going into our taxonomy, so how we can recommend that. और मैं इसमें एक और आखिरी बात कहना चाहूंगी कि ये हमारी इस सिलसिले में डॉक्टर रजिया आखिरी नशिस्त नहीं होनी चाहिए। ब्रदर ये STPI की कॉन्फ्रेंस हर साल होती है, ये सब्जेक्ट इस फोरम पे पहली दफा आया है, बट लेट्स सिट टुगेदर। और मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है डॉक्टर नईम से, डॉक्टर तायरा से, PSQCA से, एवरीवन, कि हर कोई अपने अपने फील्ड की काइंडली कोई रेगुलेशन, कोई SOPs, कोई प्रोसीजर, कोई गाइडलाइन डेवलप करके दे। आई एम रेडी टू नोटिफाई, बिकॉज कोई इदारा अकेले काम नहीं कर सकता। वी नीड टू सिट टुगेदर और साइंटिफिक बेस्ड एविडेंस के तौर पे वी रियली नीड टू हैव अ रेगुलेशन। हमारे पाकिस्तान में अभी तक किसी केमिकल पे कोई रेगुलेशन नहीं बनी हुई है। हमारा हैजर्डस वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसी 2022 में लॉन्च हो चुकी है। यस्टरडे आई वाज हैविंग डिस्कशन विद माय सेक्रेटरी ऑन इट, और हमारी काफी दिनों से इस पे डिस्कशन चल रही है। लेकिन इस फोरम पे मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि स्पेशली डर्माटोलॉजी के लोग, जो एस्थेटिक के लोग हैं, प्लीज गिव अस द एडवाइस। वी आर लुकिंग फॉर योर एडवाइस। आप लोग एक्सपर्ट हैं इस सब्जेक्ट पे, यू कैन टेल अस व्हाट इज अ सेफ लिमिट, है कि नहीं है। नहीं है तो क्या इसकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए मैकेनिज्म होना चाहिए, इसकी क्या SOP होनी चाहिए, और कहाँ हमें एक बैरियर लगा देना चाहिए कि अब नो मोर मर्करी। Maybe this could be the first milestone कि पाकिस्तान can take the credit in the field of the Minamata Convention, और इसका मेंबर होते हुए कि हमने इस फोरम से अपनी जो है रेगुलेशन बना ली है। This is what I want to take back with me, and I will request कि इस पे एक कोई छोटी कमेटी बना दें डॉक्टर रजिया, और बैठ के इस पे हम काम करके कम से कम इसकी रेगुलेशन, जो लीगल असिस्टेंस चाहिए होगी, आई एम रेडी टू प्रोवाइड। अदर देन बेसिकली आई एम अ molecular biologist, biochemist, but simultaneously I am a law graduate as well. तो इन दोनों एक्सपर्टीज को मैं मिक्स करके इस एरिया में काम करना चाहती हूँ, और आप लोगों की सपोर्ट चाहिए। सो मेरा टेक बैक ये है कि मैं फोरम से एक्सपेक्ट कर रही हूँ कि 1 साल के बाद कम से कम मेरे पास मर्करी रेगुलेशन 2024 मौजूद होगी, जिसको हम फील्ड में जाके इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकेंगे, और किसी भी स्टोर पे कहेंगे जी इस रेगुलेशन के अगेंस्ट तुम ये मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहे हो। लीगल टूल इज रियली रियली एसेंशियल। जब आप किसी से भी कोई बात करते हैं कि आप किसी को स्टॉप कर रहे हैं, तो अंडर विच लॉ। So with this, once again, congratulations to entire team and each and every person who is sitting over there, और जो ऑनलाइन भी हैं। मैं दोबारा रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी इस पे अवेयरनेस को दारा शुरू कीजिए, नहीं तो हमारी अगली जनरेशन, और स्पेशली जो गांव में रहने वाली हमारी बच्चियां हैं और जिनको ये कम्प्लेक्स कर दिया जाता है कि तुम काली हो, جی لڑکی کالی ہے رشتہ نہیں آتا, میں نہیں اس پہ بات کروں گی, لیکن وہ اس پہ کیا ہے, مجبور ہو کے وہ ایسی چیزوں کے پیچھے بھاگ رہی ہیں, تو وہ خود نہیں افیکٹ ہو رہی, ان کا آنے والا بچہ افیکٹ ہوگا, ان کی باڈی میں یہ چیز ایکمولیٹ ہوگی. یہ ایسے ہی ہے, اتنا ہی خطرناک ہے میں کہوں گی جتنا HIV وائرس خطرناک ہے. شاید HIV وائرس جو ہے وہ پھر ڈورمنٹ رہتا ہے, لیکن مرکری اگر باڈی میں چلا جائے تو وہ آپ کا ٹرانسفر ہوگا, اور آپ کے فیوچر میں اس وقت آپ دیکھیں کتنا کینسر کیسز ہمارے پاس آ رہے ہیں, اور ون آف دا میجر ریزن از انہیلنگ آف دا کیمیکلس, اور آپ کے ان نون ریزن ہو جاتا ہے, آپ کے سیلز میں لائن ہو جاتے ہیں, آپ کی ڈیفارمیشن شروع ہو جاتی ہے, آپ کے ٹیشوز ڈیمیج ہو جاتے ہیں. تو پلیز یہ میری ریکویسٹ ہوگی سب سے, اور آئی فاؤنڈ ایوری ون سو سیریس, سو کنسنٹریٹ آن دس فورم, کہ میں نے دیکھا ہے ایک بھی کوئی یہاں بیٹھا ہوا نہیں ہے جس نے ایک سیکنڈ کے لیے بھی کوئی آنکھ بھی چپکی ہو, یا تھوڑی دیر کے لیے بھی میں کہوں کہ کسی کی اٹینشن ڈائیورٹ ہوئی ہے. اینڈ ریئلی دس از دا کریڈٹ آف آل آف یو. ہم تو بات کرتے رہیں گے, لیکن آنے والوں کے ساتھ, اور رائٹ فورم, رائٹ پلیس فار رائٹ ڈسکشن ود a right way forward is really required. اور وہ ماتر محمد کی ایک بڑی اچھی بات شیئر کر لوں گی آپ کے ساتھ. ماتر محمد جب فرسٹ ٹائم پرائم منسٹر بنے تھے ملائیشیا کے, تو انہوں نے کہا تھا یا تو گورنمنٹ جو کام کر رہی ہے آ کے بتاؤ یہ کام ٹھیک ہے, اس میں اپنا حصہ ڈالو, اور اگر سمجھتے ہیں کہ وہ کام غلط کر رہی ہے بتاؤ ٹھیک کیسے کرنا ہے. تو یہاں میں یہ کہوں گی آئیے بتائیں ہم نے کیا کام کرنا ہے, لیٹس ڈو اٹ. پاکستان میں ابھی تک کسی سنگل کیمیکل پہ ایک بھی ریگولیشن نہیں آئی, اینڈ آئی گارنٹی یو کہ وہ ریگولیشن اگر ہم یہ فورم پہ کمیٹی بنا کے بنانا شروع کریں تو میں پورے پاکستان میں اس کی امپلیمنٹیشن کی گارنٹی دے سکتی ہوں, بینگ اے ریگولیٹر آف دا فیڈرل EPA. تھینک یو سو مچ ونس اگین.
Thank you very much for your generous support and I think definitely we will work together on this. And actually, though you have talked about that, but we have a very burning question, 2 questions. It should have been before you, but we are going to take 2 questions. So any questions from the forum?
Dr. Hina Javed. I'm an associate professor in family medicine at Health Services Academy, Islamabad. I'm an academic, clinician, and a researcher. And thank you, Madam Razia Safdar, for inviting me and literally chasing me to attend this event. Awareness pe humne baat ki. I belong to the fraternity of primary care. سوائے پروفیسر نادیہ کے کسی اور نے جنرل پریکٹیشنر کو مینشن بھی نہیں کیا. اب ایک لو مڈل انکم کنٹری جہاں پہ پرائمری کیئر ایگزسٹ ہی نہیں کرتا, وہاں پہ ہم پیشنٹ اویئرنیس کی بات کیسے کر سکتے ہیں؟ سو اٹ واز اے بٹ سرپرائزنگ دیٹ وی آر ٹاکنگ اباؤٹ آل دا ہائپ اینڈ آل دا ایشوز, لیکن جو کور ایشو ہے اس کے اوپر ہم نے بالکل وہ کامنٹ بھی نہیں کیا. سو پرائمری کیئر کلینیشنز جن کی اس وقت پوسٹ گریڈ ٹریننگ اپالنگ ہے کرنٹلی, اور untrained, non-qualified primary care physicians are actually treating, which is adding to the problem. جو burden of disease ہمارا اتنا quadruple ہو رہا ہے, پاکستان نے بڑی بڑی countries کو اس وقت پیچھے چھوڑ دیا in diabetes, as opposed to Sri Lanka, which is a much smaller country. اس نے 6 infectious diseases eradicate کر کے اپنا burden of disease کم کر دیا. So اگر آپ کا trained GP, which is a community based physician, اگر وہ بیٹھا ہی نہیں ہوگا community میں, تو وہ پیشنٹ کو ایجوکیٹ کیسے کرے گا؟ We have talked about manufacturers' education, and I was a bit disappointed that there was one online speaker, honorable speaker, he didn't have the data to share with us, which was a bit discouraging, because we all come here with some kind of a preparation, including the audience. So, and there was some repetition, there was a lot of repetition of what we already know, and I was hoping to hear what's the way forward. Yes, we talk about, and the one thing that I felt was lacking was responsibility, owning that responsibility, the self-responsibility. There was a lot of passing the buck. Oh, this is not my responsibility. My job is to do only this and this and that. No, it's our job to do it. Somebody has got to do the job. So yes, we do need the teamwork. In addition to food adulteration, in addition to the horrendous air quality index in some cities, and on top, this lead and the mercury and God knows what other elements we are going to talk about in future as well, and no primary care or health equity, I don't know what the starting point is. The situation is very grave. But I think we just need to kind of pull ourselves a little bit more, have some motivation, have some responsibility, own that, show some ownership as well, and then work as a team. There are a lot of people who want to give back to this country as well. Give them the opportunity. We've talked about pharmaceutical, and I don't like using the term mafias, but let's be honest, there are academic mafias, there are research mafias, there are pharmaceutical, you name it, and we have it. Pakistan is number 1 hai hepatitis C mein, in incidence and prevalence of the disease, और उसकी cause treatable, preventable cause है इस्तेमाल शुदा सुई का दोबारा इस्तेमाल. Have we admit to that problem? If every person knows why there is a reluctancy to talk about it on the provincial assembly forum or even the parliament, why the sense of denialism में क्यों रहते हैं हम लोग, accept क्यों नहीं करते yes there is a problem? Why do we have to negate and say oh no it doesn't exist? बहुत अफसोस हुआ जब एक हाई लेवल की मिनिस्टीरियल मीटिंग के अंदर एक सूबे के हेल्थ केयर कमिश्नर फरमा रहे थे इस सूबे में तो इस्तेमाल शुदा सुई इस्तेमाल नहीं होती, and I literally turned around and said सर आप दोबारा कहेंगे आपने क्या कहा है? So that blatant denialism.
Hina,
Yes.
your point is being taken.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for your comment. Any other comment? Just a short comment because we are just out of time, a lot of out of time. Rather. Next question has to be...
Razia, can I say something? Dr. Nadia is here.
Yes, please.
Dr. Razia, actually, you must be knowing, just like I communicated earlier, that we are having this annual conference of PADCon, 43rd PADCon, which is held annually. And this time Lahore is the host. And I am the scientific chair for that conference. And we have a session on mind and skin. This session was kept with the idea behind that people should be aware and knowing what is this about colorism, and like Sadia talked about colonialism and the complex of fair skin. So we have very nice talks in that, and we would like you to also be a panelist if you can join, or somebody else who's interested live. We can give you a link, or you could join that session. That would be good. Like people would be knowing about Minamata and the things which you have been doing.
Grateful, Dr. Nadia. Thank you very much. And in the interest of time, I think Dr. Shazia Sobia, who is our chief guest, is also waiting for online. She is our very kind colleague who is also working on these things, like Dr. Farzana has mentioned about her, has offered her support to us. So Dr. Shazia Sobia Sumro is a prominent member National Assembly who was and also served previously as 2 terms in Assembly. And she was Parliamentary Secretary for the Ministry of National Health Services Regulations and Coordination. And over to you, Dr. Shazia. Sorry for you were waiting for a long time. So for your concluding remarks and your take, please go ahead, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Dr. Razia. I think, first of all, I thank you for inviting me for this important discussion, and I appreciate Dr. Abid Suleri and Dr. Razia and SDPI team to take the stand for this sensitive matter. I think conclusion of this discussion, मैं समझती हूँ कि जिस तरह से डॉक्टर फरजाना ने कहा कि वी आर टीम, अगर हम टीम बन के काम करते हैं तो आई एम पार्ट ऑफ योर टीम. एंड मैंने अभी सेशन जो है वो एंड हो गया है, लेकिन मेरे क्वेश्चंस जो हैं रिगार्डिंग दिस केमिकल मैंने सबमिटेड करवा दिए हैं, और इंशाल्लाह मैं इस चीज को अपनी जो स्टैंडिंग कमेटी है उसमें भी हाईलाइट करूंगी, चाहे वो क्लाइमेट चेंज स्टैंडिंग कमेटी हो, चाहे वो हमारी हेल्थ की स्टैंडिंग कमेटी हो, मैं उसमें भी इन चीजों को रेज करूंगी. और बीइंग अ public representative, I am with you. آپ جہاں کہیں گے, میں اپنی کانسٹیٹوئنسی میں اس چیز پہ کام کر رہی ہوں, اور میں انشاءاللہ بہت جلد آپ لوگوں کو انوائٹ کروں گی اس طرح کی ایک اویئرنیس کیمپین میں. اور یہ چیزیں ہیں کہ ہم لوگ بات کرتے ہیں کہ کس طرح سے یہ ڈسکشن آگے جائے اور گراس روٹ تک پہنچے, یا ان لوگوں تک پہنچے جن کے پاس اویئرنیس نہیں ہے, وہ لوگ جو ریموٹ ایریا میں رہتے ہیں. اور سب سے بڑا جو میں سمجھتی ہوں کہ لوگوں کو نہ تو کسی ڈاکٹر کی ضرورت ہے, نہ ان کو کسی اور چیز کی ضرورت ہے, وہ لوگ پہلے سے ہی بہت زیادہ اویئر ہیں تھرو سوشل میڈیا. اب ان کو کنٹرول کرنا بہت مشکل ہے. لوگ کھانے کے پیسے نہیں ہوتے ہیں, لیکن وہ کریم یا کوئی ایسی میڈیکیٹڈ چیز ضرور یوز کرتے ہیں پیسے بچا کے. ہماری جو ینگ گرلز ہیں وہ, اب میں جہاں تک میں نے, کیونکہ آپ نے بتایا کہ میں اٹس مائی تھرڈ ٹرم, تو میں نے جو یہاں پہ بیٹھ کے دیکھا ہے وہ یہ ہے کہ ایک چیز ہوتی ہے سادہ بندہ کانسیپٹ. لاسٹ ٹائم بھی میں نے آپ کی اسی ڈسکشن میں یہی بات کی تھی کہ سادہ بندہ کانسیپٹ جو ہے وہ ایک مافیا کو کریٹ کرتا ہے, اور اس مافیا سے لڑنا بہت مشکل ہے. تو ہم اپنا کام اگر سائیڈ لائن میں کرتے رہیں گے, تو بہت سارے لوگ ایسے ہیں گورنمنٹ میں بھی اور بیوروکریسی میں بھی, اور بہت سارے لوگ این جی اوز, آئی این جی اوز میں, میڈیا میں, جو اس چیز میں ہمارا ساتھ دینا چاہتے ہیں. لیکن وہی ہے کہ اسٹیپ فارورڈ جو فرنٹ لائن سولجرز ہیں وہ کون ہوں گے. تو میں سمجھتی ہوں ایس ڈی پی آئی, ڈاکٹر عابد فلیری اور ڈاکٹر رضیہ جو ہیں وہ فرنٹ لائن پہ ہیں, اور ہم آپ کے ساتھ کھڑے ہوئے ہیں. اینی ٹائم اینی ویئر اگر آپ ہمیں کہتے ہیں, ہم آپ کے ساتھ چلیں گے. بہت میننگ فل ہمیں ڈسکشن یہ جو آج مجھے ملی ہے, میں سمجھتی ہوں کہ اس ڈسکشن کو ایک جگہ پہ, ایک پلیٹ فارم پہ نہیں رکنا چاہیے. اس ڈسکشن کو آگے جانا چاہیے, اور ہر پاکستان کے کونے میں پہنچنا چاہیے جہاں پر یہ ہزارڈیس کیمیکلز یوز ہوتے ہیں. اور سب سے پہلے میں یہ کہنا چاہوں گی کہ اگر اسلام آباد میں, ڈاکٹر فرزانہ سے میری ریکویسٹ ہوگی, میڈم فرزانہ سے, کہ اگر وہ صرف اسلام آباد کے پیریفریز میں آپ وزٹ کریں تو کتنی ایستھیٹک کلینکس ہیں, کتنی جی پی کلینکس ہیں جو ایز اے اسکن اسپیشلسٹ وہ چل رہی ہیں. اور اس کے علاوہ کتنے سارے سیلونز ہیں جن میں کیمیکل, جو ہیزارڈس کیمیکلز ہیں وہ یوز ہوتے ہیں فار فیئرنیس آف اسکن. یہ ساری چیزیں, اور ہماری ایستھیٹک جو کلینکس ہیں, آپ نے بات کی تھی کہ ایک سائیکالوجسٹ جو ہے وہ اسکن کیئر ایستھیٹک کلینک چلا رہے ہیں. تو اگر اس طرح کے لوگ ہوں گے, مافیا ہوگا, تو ہم کسی کو بھی کنٹرول نہیں کر سکتے ہیں. میں کسٹم جو لا ہے اس پہ بھی کام کر رہی ہوں. انشاءاللہ بہت جلد میں اس میں امینڈمنٹ بھی لے کر آؤں گی. اور کیمیکل کے لیے جتنی بھی چیزیں ہیں, ایک ریگولیشن ہماری بننی چاہیے. اور اگر ہم دیکھیں تو ہماری جتنی بھی ریگولیٹنگ اتھارٹی ہیں پاکستان میں بنی ہوئی ہیں, کیا وہ پراپر ان چیزوں پر یا اس ایکٹ پر جس کے بیس پہ وہ ریگولیٹنگ اتھارٹی بنی ہے, کیا وہ کام کر رہی ہیں؟ ہمارے پاس کوئی ڈیٹا نہیں ہے. ہم سوشل میڈیا کو کنٹرول نہیں کر سکتے. ہم نے پتہ نہیں کس طرح سے, بس وہ کہتے ہیں نا کہ اللہ کے نام پہ پاکستان چل رہا ہے, اللہ کے نام پہ بنا تھا تو اسی نام پہ ہی چل رہا ہے. لیکن ہم جہاں کوئی ریگولیشن لانے کی کوشش کرتے ہیں, جہاں ہم کوئی تھوڑی سی سختی کرنے کی کوشش کرتے ہیں, تو وہ اس بندے کو ہٹا دیا جاتا ہے. یہ چیز ڈاکٹر رضیہ کو زیادہ پتا ہوگی کہ جب میں بینگ اے پارلیمنٹری سیکرٹری جن چیزوں پہ میں نے کنٹرول کرنے کی کوشش کی تھی, تو مجھے ایک بہت بڑے پرسن کی طرف سے کال آ جاتی تھی کہ میڈم آپ تھوڑا سائڈ پہ کر لیں اس چیز کو, کیونکہ یہ ہمارے اپنے لوگ ہیں, اگر کام نہیں کریں گے تو پھر ان کے گھر کیسے چلیں گے. تو وہ ریزنز جو ہوتے ہیں نا, تو وہ ہمیں ہمارے بھی ہاتھ باندھ دیتے ہیں جب اپنا ہی ایک کام کرنے والا بندہ آگے بڑھ کے یہ ریکویسٹ کرتا ہے. تو ہمارا پھر بہت سارے لوگ ہیں, کام کرنا چاہتے ہیں, آپ کے ساتھ چلنا چاہتے ہیں, لیکن وہی بات آ جاتی ہے کہ پھر ہاتھ باندھنے کے لیے بھی آپ کے وہی لوگ آگے آتے ہیں جو یہ کہتے ہیں کہ ہم آپ کے ساتھ کام کریں گے. وہ کوئی نہ کوئی ریزن دے کے آپ کو کام کرنے سے روک دیتے ہیں. لیکن ڈونٹ وری, میں اپنی طرف سے جو لیجسلیشن کی بات ہے وہ میں انشاءاللہ ضرور پوری کروں گی, اور کہیں بھی اویئرنیس کیمپین کی ہو میں آپ لوگوں کے ساتھ ہوں, ساتھ چلوں گی. اور بینگ اے پارلیمنٹیرین میرا جو بھی رول ہے میں اپنا پورا رول ادا کروں گی. اور लेजिस्लेशन में तो इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट सेशन में और नेक्स्ट स्टैंडिंग कमेटी मीटिंग्स में आप इंशाल्लाह ये जरूर देखेंगे कि ये चीज हाईलाइट होगी और इंशाल्लाह ये लोगों के अवेयरनेस में काम भी आएगी थ्रू मीडिया और हम इस चीज पे पर्सनली भी काम करके और बहुत जल्द मैं आप लोगों को इनवाइट करूंगी अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में ताकि आप भी उस अवेयरनेस कैंपेन का हिस्सा बने और हमारा साथ दें ताकि हम मिलके ये चीज कर सकें। और बहुत सारे लोग हैं जैसे अभी मैडम जो HSS से मैडम ने क्वेश्चन किया या बात की, बिल्कुल सही कह रही हैं, ये वही माफिया है जो आपको काम नहीं करने देगा। बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं जो काम करना चाहते हैं और यहीं पे बैठे हुए लोगों में से बहुत सारे लोग काम करना चाहेंगे, मीडिया पर्सन भी बैठी हुई हैं, वो अगर अपने हर प्रोग्राम में इस बात पे हैमरिंग करती रहेंगी, जैसे मैं अगर सेशन में हर दूसरी मिनिस्ट्री से ये क्वेश्चन करती रहूंगी तो इंशाल्लाह जरूर होगा। और एक मेरी सजेशन लास्ट मीटिंग में डॉक्टर रजिया अगर आपको याद हो तो मैंने दी थी, वो थी कि हमारे पास साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के मिनिस्ट्री के अंडर बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स आते हैं, बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं और उनको अगर एज अ प्रोजेक्ट आप ये चीज दे दें फॉर टेस्टिंग द केमिकल या क्रीम्स, तो वो आपको बता सकते हैं कि इसमें कितना मर्करी है। देखें इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे लेस देन 1 ppm जो है वो मर्करी यूज होना है किसी भी केमिकल में, लेकिन पाकिस्तान में 1 ppm भी क्यों अलाउड किया गया है? तो ये चीजें भी देखनी है और हमें इस चीज पे भी काम करना है। और ये मैं समझती हूँ कि सबसे बड़ा काम है PSQCA वालों का कि वो इस चीज को थोड़ा सा रिसर्च करें और मेरे ख्याल में हमारी बहुत प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज और पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं जो इन पे साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी पे काम कर रही हैं, तो आप लोग प्लीज ये उनको एज अ प्रोजेक्ट ये टास्क दें कि वो इन चीजों को रिसर्च करके हमें चंद क्रीम्स दे दें या चंद प्रोडक्ट्स दे दें केमिकल या कॉस्मेटिक्स के, कि वो हमें इन पे रिसर्च करके दें कि कितना केमिकल कितनी मर्करी इसमें ऐसी है जो स्किन के लिए हैजार्डस है। और नो डाउट कि मैं समझती हूँ कि जो केमिकल बॉडी में रह जाते हैं उनका इफेक्ट बच्चों पे जरूर पड़ता है एज अ मदर, अगर वो यूज कर रही हैं तो ये सारी चीजें रूल आउट होनी चाहिए। और एनी टाइम अगर आप मुझे कहेंगे मैं कहीं पे भी पहुंच जाऊंगी। आज भी मेरा आप लोगों के साथ फिजिकल प्रॉमिस था यहाँ पहुंचने का, लेकिन क्योंकि पार्टी की मीटिंग थी तो मैं आ गई और आप लोगों के साथ फिजिकल अटेंड नहीं कर सकी ये मीटिंग, लेकिन नेक्स्ट टाइम कहीं पे भी मैं इंशाल्लाह जरूर पहुंच जाऊंगी। और थैंक यू सो मच फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी। और डोंट वरी, मेरी जहां जहां पे भी कोशिश होगी मीडिया में, स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में, फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस में इस चीज को जरूर रेज करूंगी। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you very much, Dr. Shazia, for such generous support. And definitely, when you come to Islamabad, we will meet and we can organize something which is and we'll get your advice more. Thank you very much, all the participants and panelists for this. And there is a small thing in the end that on 4th November this year, I have launched my report on air pollution, health impacts of the air pollution, and in 2 cities of Islamabad. And I would like to present it to Madam Farzana and all the guests. And so please come for the group photo as well and for this. So